Hey guys, what is up? It's TPS Infinite. I'm playing some Diana mid lane against a Corki in a ranked 5s match, so enjoy the clip. So I'm going to be telling you guys something that actually happened pretty recently in my life, within the last few months. I absolutely love riding motorcycles. The first motorcycle I ever owned was a 250. I know, such a baby bike. Well, I got a good deal on it. It was I had no credit. I didn't have any cash down, and I needed a vehicle, but I didn't have enough. I didn't make enough to get a car on my own because my parents couldn't help me co-sign. So I ended up getting a bike, and this bike happened to be better than anything else that I had that was offered to me at the time. But fast forward a little while, 5 months down the road, I ended up getting a car, and I had to trade my bike, and I was very sad, and I just wanted another bike. So I ended up I traded some stuff for a little 125. Super excited. Ended up selling that for some cash, and then I ended up buying an R1. Yeah, big boy bike. It was absolutely fun when I had it, and here's where the story starts. So I used to live in Miami, Florida, and I took the bike and I drove to Orlando to my brother's, and it was like a 2-hour trip, and my first time on really taking a decent sized road trip on a bike, and especially that size. I mean, I had previously ridden 1000 cc's, but yeah, this bike became a nightmare, and I absolutely got screwed over. And the guy who did it to me, I hope karma punches him straight in the face. He was apparently using the money from the bike to get a new truck, so I hope his new truck just shit itself. I hope the transmission flew through the front of the truck and the truck just got destroyed. Guy's a complete asshole. So I go and test ride this bike. Now, I test rode this bike for almost an hour. Nothing was wrong with it. It shifted through gears properly. The clutch wasn't sticking. Everything was perfectly fine. It was an older bike, granted, guys. This bike was like, I think 98 or something like that. But from what it looked, it only had cosmetic, there were scratches, and I think it had been laid down or dropped or something. But there was nothing actually mechanically sounding wrong. There was nothing that looked wrong. The bike ran fine. It started the first time, it started perfectly. Went through every gear perfect, had full rev range, full power through mid to high rev range, because it was an R1. Those models didn't really have good low range power, like low end power. But yeah, so this bike was pretty good, and I was feeling pretty good. The guy wanted $1,500 for it, and I was like, all right, whatever, I got him down to like $1,200 or something like that, and we did it, and I rode home, and I was like, yeah, it's going to be great. 5 minutes from my house, the damn shifter peg, the most important peg on that bike. I mean, yeah, the back brakes are important, but the shifter peg, falls out of the bike. Literally falls out of the bike. I'm stuck in third gear, and it was like a 20-mile-an-hour zone, and I'm like trying to make sure I don't stall this bike just to get it to where I was living. And man, oh man, I was pissed. So I rode it up to this bike store, because I managed to get it back in there, get a rig kinda. And this bike shop up the road helped me out. The dude threaded the inside of the bolt, because apparently what the bike guys, the dude at the shop said, he said the bike had been dropped because the models of that year it was cast iron. It was all one solid piece, the clutch, the peg, and everything was all one piece. And apparently they had dropped it, broke the shifter peg, and then jimmy rigged this bolt and washer in it just to hold on to it. And now this fucking dude who sold this bike to me had told me that he had rode it 1,000 miles and all this other crap, and how he took it on this long road trip and blah 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 blah. Well, he definitely lied about it, because there's no way this bike would have made the trek. I took it to Orlando, and yeah, it did good there, because like I said, I got the shifter peg fixed. It did fine on the way there. Now on the way home, this is where it gets very interesting. I break down an hour from my brother's place. So I'm an hour from Miami, an hour from Orlando. I'm in the left lane. It broke down in the left lane. Like, I couldn't even make it to the right lane. It literally, I was going probably 80 miles an hour. The bike completely shut off, literally shut off, locked up the brakes, like locked up everything. I don't know what happened to it. I ended up skidding like 20 feet. The bike cut back on, and then I started to slowly lose power. It was one of the scariest moments I've ever had on a motorcycle. And I pulled over. The bike wouldn't turn on. I thought, well, maybe I'm out of gas. So I opened the gas, the tank. It's low, but I wasn't out. I was about to stop for gas. So, I mean, I could have made probably another 30, 45 minutes on that and what I had. So it wasn't that. And I'm like, okay, this is really weird. So I called my brother. I'm like, hey, man, I broke down because he's a mechanic and he works on cars, but he has worked on bikes several times, so it's not like he knows a lot. But he ends up finally getting out to me, and so we start looking under the seat of the bike where the battery is. They don't have any bolts holding the battery in. It is literally just in there, and they have the seat pressing down on it to make the connection. It literally was I don't know why I did not check the battery. Like, I have no idea why I didn't. I think I figured just, the bike turned over perfectly fine. If there was any issues, I would have known, because I don't know why I didn't check the battery. And instantly, my heart just dropped, and I was just like, damn. Because the bolts that were needed aren't like normal size bolts. Like, they were specifically made for that battery. Like, it's an old bike. So for like 2-3 hours, we're sitting there trying to rig this bike, trying to figure out what else is wrong with it. We come across all these issues. I mean, the shifter peg, the rear brake peg, the clutch is loose, the chain is loose. And I know what you guys are thinking. You're probably like, wow, Infinite, you didn't even check it. But I did check it. I checked everything on that bike that I knowledgeably knew to check, including the chain. And I even brought my own chain lube, because the chain did need lubrication, and it was kind of, he didn't really take good care of the chain, but that wasn't really a big problem. Just after that, we started finding little problems everywhere, and it was like 8-9 o'clock now at night, and it's getting dark. There's a lot of traffic. There's already been cops that came and tried to help us, and just all this stuff, and I can't afford to tow anything. My parents can't afford to help me out, and my brother definitely can't. So we finally made the decision. We got it across the road, which was super sketch, because we had to run a 1,000cc bike across a 80-mile-an-hour highway, 3 lanes, and we had to wait for this huge gap. It was pretty scary, and we ended up putting it like down, like we go in the ditch in the, like, on the side of the road, and then over it, and we end up trying to get it behind these bushes. Well, our hopes was nobody would see it, because I folded in all the mirrors, everything that was shiny. But I went back there the next day, and it was gone. So that's my story about having a stolen R1, guys. If you have any stories like that, or anything, you got ripped off on Craigslist, let me know down in the comments. All right, guys, stay safe and stay chill. Make sure to give me a like and click that subscribe button. Peace.